Welcome to Southern Home Building Blueprint for Energy. I'm Bruce Dweck, Chief of the Energy Conservation Division of the Jacksonville Electric Authority in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're thinking about building a new home, then this 5-part series is for you. Because the best time to consider energy-saving features is before construction begins. Once the construction of the new home gets underway, even small changes can be difficult and often costly. How important are energy efficiency considerations when building a new home? Very important. By using existing cost-effective features and techniques, your utility bills can be cut by as much as 30%. In addition, many of these features and techniques will add little or nothing to the cost of your home. Some, in fact, may even lower the cost of what's typically done. The information in these programs will help you build the most energy efficient, comfortable home for the best price here in the Southeast. Because climate conditions have such a large impact on savings produced by energy-saving features, the information you'll get from these programs will apply only to the areas shown in green on this map: all of Florida and portions of Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. The climate in this area is characterized by summers which are long, warm, and humid, caused by the nearness of large bodies of water and abundant rainfall, about 60 inches per year. Summer temperatures average between 82 and 86 degrees, exceeding 95 degrees several times per season in the daytime. Winters are mild, averaging 55 to 65 degrees, and although winter temperatures may fall below freezing in the northern part of this region, it is rare if they fail to rise above freezing during the daylight hours. The relative humidity is high all year long, averaging about 75% and ranging from 85 to 90% during the morning and 55 to 60% during the afternoon. Because the climate in this area is quite unique, it is important to remember that many construction principles from other climate areas do not apply here. In this first program, we'll give you 15 design principles to help you design the energy-efficient home. But before the house itself is addressed, we'll learn what to look for in a potential new home site.
Planning for energy efficiency begins with lot selection. Look for a lot which allows the longer sides of the house to face north or south. The street will usually be on the north or south side of such a lot. The reason for choosing a north-facing or south-facing lot is based on the fact that the sun's path through the sky in summer is very different from the sun's path in winter. These different seasonal paths of the sun have an influence on your energy bills. During the summer, the sun is very high in the sky. It rises in the northeast, travels almost directly over the house, casting little light on the south wall. Then it sets in the northwest. As a result, east and west facing walls receive more than twice the amount of heat as the same sized walls facing the north and south. By reducing the size of the walls and windows on the east and west, air conditioning bills can be reduced dramatically. During the winter months, the sun is much lower in the sky. At this time of year, the south wall and south windows receive most of the sun's heat. By placing the longer wall and more windows on the south, you can take advantage of free heat for your home on sunny winter days. To get the right amount of free winter heating without overheating your home, south-facing glass should be equal to 5% of the floor area. That's 50 square feet of window and door glass for each 1,000 square feet of floor area. A good passive home design, then, has a combination of little or no glass on the east and west sides of the home and the correct amount of glass on the south. This type of design offers the best opportunities for reducing both summer air conditioning and winter heating costs. George Spall, an award-winning builder of energy-efficient homes, uses this passive design principle.
Here in the hot, sunny southeast, most of our heat from the sun comes from the east and west. So there are a couple of things we want to keep in mind when we're choosing a home site. This particular site we chose so that we could orient our longest faces of the house towards the north and south, and have our narrowest sides of the house, which generally speaking have the fewest windows, on the east and west sides. Notice here we have the eastern side of the house in full sun. Over here we have the northern side of the house in full shade. This is why we want the smaller ends of the house to be facing east and west.
If you cannot find an ideal lot, and the lot you purchase forces you to face the long sides of the house east and west, you can still use the sun to your advantage. Choose a house plan with little or no glass on the east and west. As few as 2 average-sized windows on the east or west can cause more year-round energy consumption than the entire wall in which those 2 windows are located. The front of this house faces west and has only 1 window. In this example, the garage acts as a buffer and helps shield the air-conditioned part of the house from the heat of the summer sun. The wall with the most windows, the wall on the right side, faces south. So heat from the winter sun helps to heat this home. Another way of increasing energy efficiency is to choose a lot with shade trees. Trees can help reduce energy consumption in both summer and winter. In summer, trees shield the house from the sun's heat, helping to keep the house cool. In addition, the way in which trees absorb and give off moisture actually cools the air around them. As a result, the air on a shaded lot can be a very important 7 degrees cooler than the air on an unshaded lot. During the winter, deciduous trees, trees that lose their leaves in winter, allow sunlight to reach the house to help heat it. Evergreen trees, trees that do not lose their leaves in winter, can be used to deflect cold winter winds away from the house. Terry DeValier, a county extension agent in Jacksonville, explains some of these differences.
Some people prefer shade year-round, so they would tend to go with evergreen plants such as a red cedar or a holly tree. Now, you're also going to be increasing your energy bill from another standpoint during the winter months because you're not allowing those sun rays to come into the home. So your best bet would be to go with the deciduous plant, and that is one which sheds its leaves during the winter, allowing the winter heating rays to come into the home, but yet it shades out the hot summer rays. So there's a benefit of that.
So, deciduous trees offer greater year-round energy savings. In addition, preserving existing plants on the lot provides the homeowner with some non-energy benefits.
We're in the backyard now. We've chosen this site partially for the extensive tree canopy in the backyard. This provides shade for the house in the summer and helps reduce the air infiltration. And it also creates a very pleasant, pretty microclimate in the backyard. It's very cool and nice back here, and as you can see, we've left everything natural to eliminate the need for mowing or watering or any kind of maintenance.
Preserving trees, however, requires planning and care because the construction process is hard on trees. Bulldozers and delivery vehicles may damage tree bark and root systems. Barriers can be used to protect the trees which are in the paths of construction equipment. Joe Dunbar, an urban forester with the Florida Division of Forestry, explains.
On the site, as you can see, we have 2 different types of barriers. We have the 2x4s that are placed up against the tree. Normally these are there to prevent equipment scrapes or bumps from any type of activity next to the tree. Very, very useful in the sense of just maintaining the integrity of the tree. The other barrier is the wide ribbon, and in a sense what that does is protect an area around the tree and protects the roots in that area, which is very critical from compaction of vehicles or storage of materials. Generally, these 2 barriers are the most often used. Essentially what you can do also though is on smaller areas and different things you might need more access, you can take and lay down dunnage material or sheathing material around to create a larger surface area for that material or vehicles traveling over it. But these barriers will help your tree get through that construction process.
In addition to the potential damage from construction vehicles, Another threat to existing trees is the construction process itself. For example, trenches for the foundation may cut the tree's root system, harming the tree. How close to an existing tree can a house be built?
Normally a safe workable distance from a tree is about 10 feet or so, but normally with the smaller lots and everything, you have to come in and encroach on the trees closer than that 10 foot. And what we're looking at is what is that safe distance to be from a tree so that we can save it and keep it around in our home site. One good idea or thing to look at is assuming you have a healthy tree and you need to come within that 10-foot area, then what we need to do is look at the root distribution. And what I mean by the root distribution is to look at how the roots are coming away from the trunk of the tree. Generally, a tree will have 5 to 11 main lateral roots. This particular tree has 10 coming off of it. If we were going to come on this side of the tree and place our house or foundation here, we're essentially affecting 5 roots of the 10, or 50%. That would probably be the most, or in the area of a critical to go above that, and so it's a borderline tree to try and work in around our house. Generally though, if you're coming up to this tree, you'd want to stay at least 4 feet away from it, because if you didn't, generally the roots will not callus and heal to where they will put out new feeder roots coming off of them. So you want to stay at least that 4 and working out closer to the 10 if at all possible.
Another consideration is the health of the tree. Unhealthy trees are most economically removed before construction begins. With an on-site inspection, your local urban forester can give you advice on which trees are most likely to survive the effects of the construction process. Once the lot has been selected, the next task is to design the home. There are many passive design principles to consider in choosing a house plan. When selecting a house plan, choose a simple design. Square-shaped and rectangular-shaped houses will generally use less energy than house shapes which resemble the letters L, T, H, or U. Simple designs have less surface area through which heat can enter and leave the house. These two houses, viewed from above, have the same floor areas but very different wall areas. The outside walls are being measured. The red flashing wall of the L-shaped house shows that this house has more wall area. More wall area allows more heat to leak into and out of the house. The simple square-shaped design has less wall area, making it more energy efficient. Look for home designs which do not have excessive amounts of windows and glass doors. The total amount of window and door glass in walls should not exceed 10% of the floor area of the heated portion of the house, and the location of this glass can have a large impact on both heating and cooling bills. The amount of south-facing glass should be determined carefully. In order to take advantage of the sun's ability to provide free heat during winter days, look for a home design which has an amount of south-facing glass equal to 5% of the floor area, no more, no less. This means that there should be 50 square feet of south-facing glass for every 1,000 square feet of floor area. If south-facing glass exceeds this amount, the house could become uncomfortably warm on sunny winter days. This very practical passive design principle often means no additional cost to the home buyer. It is best to avoid placing any glass on certain sides of the house when possible. Avoid glass on the sides that face east or west, as well as the sides that are nearly east and west, such as the northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. If you cannot eliminate the glass on these sides of the house, you can reduce the amount of glass you use. George Small explains.
This is the west wall of the house, and like the east, because of the full sun, it's where a good portion of your air conditioning load comes from. Ideally, on the east or west sides of the house, you would try and totally eliminate the windows. However, if you can't eliminate them, you try to at least minimize the glass area. There are a couple of good ways of doing this. Here, although the window is a little wider, we have went with a very short window so that in full sun it'll at least be partially shaded by the overhang. Down here, we chose to go with 2 taller windows, but we made them narrower to minimize the glass area.
Making windows smaller is helpful, but the best way to keep the amount of east and west glass to a minimum is to choose a house plan with the longer walls facing north and south. Then, of course, the shorter walls with fewer windows will face east and west. If, however, your lot or house plan forces you to have east or west facing windows, you can still save energy by using tint glass. Tint glass is nearly invisible to the human eye, but greatly reduces the heat that would have entered through clear glass. Avoid skylights and roof windows or any glass which is horizontal or sloping. On a year-round basis, 2 small skylights can cause as much energy consumption as the entire insulated ceiling of a house. Select a design in which skylights are not needed for internal daylight. In fact, during winter, more daylight is provided by vertical south-facing glass than an equal amount of skylights. Overhangs are recommended for south-facing windows. Overhangs help shade windows and glass doors in the summer when the sun is higher in the sky. In the winter, when the sun's path is low in the southern sky, sunlight can reach the windows under the same overhang to provide some free winter heating. Mathematical calculations are available to determine the proper overhang dimensions for south-facing windows. On east or west-facing windows, overhangs need to extend out at least 3 feet in order to be very effective. Such excessively long overhangs are usually not recommended, however, because of their cost, unless they are already part of the architectural design. Arrange windows to create cross ventilations so that cooling breezes can pass through the house during mild weather. The time of day that family activities occur should be considered when selecting the house layout or floor plan. Rooms that are primarily used in the morning, such as a breakfast area, should be located on the west side of the house to avoid the heat of the morning sun. The family room, dining room, and other rooms that are usually used in the afternoon or evening should be located on the east side of the house, away from the intense heat of the afternoon sun. And don't forget to locate your patio, deck, or porch according to the time of day you plan to use it. If you expect to use these areas in the late afternoon or evening, avoid the west, northwest, and southwest sides of the house. Placing them on the east side of the house will avoid the hot afternoon and early evening sun. Often, the floor plan you've chosen seems to be good in every respect except for its time of day layout. To improve on it, try a mirror image of the plan. In this example, the floor plan on the left exposes the afternoon activity areas to the hot afternoon sun. On the right is the mirror image of the same floor plan. Here, the afternoon activity areas are shielded from the hot afternoon sun by the rest of the house. A garage can be made to serve as an energy saver by locating it on either the west or the east side of the house. Here, it can shield the air-conditioned part of the house from the most intense heat of the sun, the heat that would otherwise strike the west or east walls and windows. Large paved areas, such as driveways and patios, reflect some of the sun's heat into your home through windows and glass doors. Paved areas also absorb some of the sun's heat, raising the temperature of the pavement. The hot pavement then heats the surrounding air, which in turn heats the house itself. Wood chip drives or wood decks are excellent alternatives to pavement, since they add very little heat to the areas around your home. In addition, wood chip drives are often less expensive than pavement. Light-colored roofing materials and light-colored finishes on exterior walls reflect some of the sun's heat, one more way to keep your home cool. Design your home with an accessible attic. This allows you to check the condition of the ductwork. And when energy prices rise in the future, an accessible attic will allow you to add more ceiling insulation when needed. But attic access hatches leak air. If they are located in the living area of the home, expensive air-conditioned and heated air can be lost into the attic. So, if at all possible, locate the attic access hatch in the garage, where leakage does not result in energy losses. Another important design principle involves the location of the two major parts of the central air conditioning system. One of these two parts, called the air handler, is the metal cabinet containing the blower fan and cooling coil. To maximize energy efficiency, place the air handler inside the air-conditioned area of the house, not in the garage or in the attic. When designing your home, set aside an area in the floor plan for the air handler. The many benefits of this practice will be explained later when we deal with the entire air conditioning, heating, and duct system. The other major part of the central air conditioning system, the compressor unit, is located outside the home. By shading the compressor unit from the summer sun, you can reduce air conditioning cost by as much as 10%. The compressor unit on the left in sunlight is heated by the sun. As a result, this compressor must work harder and consume more energy to remove the heat from inside the house. The shaded compressor unit on the right operates at a lower temperature, which is more efficient and is less costly. If your lot does not have shade trees, or even if there is no room to plant trees around the compressor unit, it is still possible to create energy-saving shade.
One important energy-saving technique that homeowners frequently overlook is using landscape material to shade the outside heat pump condenser unit. Now, this is a rather constricted area. It's fairly small, but there are things that one can do with this by the proper use of plant material. You could actually use a trellis where you could vine plants, grow plants in espalier or vining plants up the trellis unit, or you could place shrubbery material, preferably evergreen plant material, away from the condenser unit also. Now, you want to keep this plant material a specific distance away because you don't want to hinder the airflow of the condenser unit as it's cooling, but you do want to shade the unit, so you really don't need very high plant material, but just something that's going to reach perhaps even 6 to 7 feet would help. And studies have shown that this will save up to 10%, depending on the location of the condenser unit, in your energy bill, so it is quite a considerable savings.
Laundry areas produce a great deal of heat and humidity. If you locate the laundry area outside the living space of your home, you can reduce your energy bills. Many people find the garage a suitable location for the laundry. But if you prefer to locate the laundry inside the living space, install an exhaust fan to remove the heat and humidity. By incorporating these passive design principles into your house plan, you can begin to ensure energy efficiency in your home before the first nail is driven. These design principles will often cost you nothing more than a little planning time, but they will save energy and money year after year over the entire life of your home.
It's easy to see that a little careful planning for your energy-efficient home can make a big difference in your future energy bills. Most of the design principles you've just seen won't cost any more money. Some may even cost less than typical practice. But these features must be included during the planning phases of construction, or the opportunity is too often lost. In our next program, we'll show you how to choose some of the most important components for your new home. What to look for when choosing windows or water heaters. The answers are part of the blueprint for energy you'll need for Southern home building. I hope you'll join us next time for Southern Home Building Blueprint for Energy.